Hello, hello, everybody. Well, I've got a new thing to show you that I have made. Um, it's a junk journal slash ephemera holder type of lap book almost. It doesn't matter what you call it. Anyway, I did this one with a vintage sewing pattern theme. So I wanted to show it to you. Let's start with the front cover. I've got the whole book is covered with vintage sewing pattern instruction. And then I've got my little word here. This comes from Mrs. Coggs. That's one of her digitals. This is a snippet strip that I made with all different types of fabric, and this piece right here came off of a jacket that I found at the Goodwill. This red piece was a part of a scarf, part of a doily, so you can just use anything in the world. Some vintage buttons, lace, yada yada. Okay, let's look at this. I had as much fun with this as I did the whole thing. I made one of my journal pins here. If you haven't made those before, you can look at the link below. I'll link on how I make those journal pins. And then I added safety pins. I added snaps, hooks and eyes. I beaded my journal pin. I even have it hanging from snap tape. You know, you can unsnap it. I've got safety pins, beads, little tiny clothespin. I had a little wooden cross that I put in there, some rusty bells, some more safety pins, hooks and eyes, buttons, just all kinds of fun, chunky stuff. Put some more buttons here and one of my little wooden sewing machine buttons. Okay, buttons here. All right, I made and I put a little snap there, isn't that fun? It's literally snapped in between there. I made this magnetic, and it took 3 magnets to hold that closed. So I have a magnet here, here, and here, and here, here, and here to kind of keep it closed. All right, so let's look inside. We will start over here on the far left. In the front pocket, I have some vintage measuring tape that a friend of mine gave me that belonged to her mom. It's very, very, very old, and I use it in a lot of stuff. I put pieces of it. Part of the pattern thing there. I got it in my little corner pocket. I've got a little digital. It says Miss Molly's Finest Pearls. So I just strung some pearls on there. Put that in that pocket. This was a vintage sewing machine needle package, so I took the clear stuff off, and I just put some like hat pins. I just beaded them up, put a little glue to make them stay on there, and that's in that pocket. All right, and there, of course, this is vintage pattern pieces, so those 2 pieces go right there. And I made boxed pockets so they're deep, so they can hold a lot of stuff. In the back pocket is a little miniature journal that I made. There's this part of my Simplicity pattern. All these are from the pattern. There's some little snaps I put. And on the inside, I've got it held together with just lace. I'm not like, yeah, okay, I stitched it. I was going to say, why did that come off? I didn't glue it. That's why it's loose. I stitched it right down the middle to stitch all my signatures down. All right, I have a pocket here. There's just a little tag. There's the back side of those snaps. Here's another Mrs. Coggs little digital. So I've got a pocket, and inside the pocket, I had this little envelope that said, "Look, please, look inside." I'm like, I just got to put something fun in there. So what I put in this one is this yarn for embroidery, punch needle embroidery. Yeah, it's just a vintage piece, and I just cut it off. So little extra yarns down in there. Thought that was cute. There's part of the vintage pattern. This is the vintage pattern directions. Some paper, and I just did some stitching through the eye of the needle. There's another one of those little sayings. So all these are vintage pattern pieces. This is from the vintage pattern It's had a glossary of all the words, and it had it in 4 different languages. So I put that in there. It's just stuff that I cut out from the pattern. This, of course, says an eyelet toolkit. It's just a vintage, sewing stuff. I added some buttons and some lace and some little piece of vintage doily. This was a Simplicity primer pattern, but I used more than one pattern. I found a bunch of them at a thrift shop. This was some vintage rickrack, and I just glued 3 sides of that closed to make a little pocket, and it says cut and sew. And I just stick that down in that pocket. All right, I've got some more words and phrases from the sewing pattern, some more of that paper. Over here, look how old that is. Isn't that the coolest? Rust-proof hooks and eyes. And they are not rusted, but they're dark. And that's so cool. So I just used that. I glued 3 sides to make a pocket in the front. This was an applique, and this is the directions on how to do the applique. Pin it to the garment and slip stitch. I said, that's too cute. So I put him in the front pocket, and in the back pocket, I just put a tag with another little saying on it. Did some more stitching down the sides, some more directions. Now here I made like a belly band in the middle, and I've got this tag that just goes over the top. That's another vintage thing. You know you're a crafter if you pet fabric. And that just slides right in there. All right, more of that pattern piece. Here is another pocket and some more vintage sewing goodies. And so for this one, I just made this little paper pad, and I just stitched it across the top, and I put all these little pages in there. So just like a little notepad. And then there's more of our pattern piece. So this is just a little miniature journal. It's got some writing space in it, and it fits in that back pocket because that back pocket is pretty deep. Now in the middle, I added a little wooden button, and I dangled my little scissors charm from the button, and also is a little hook from a hook and an eye is dangling in there. I did add a pen for writing, and then this is a fabric marking pen, where you can mark on a pencil. You can mark on your fabric, and you can take this and brush it away, kind of like a chalk pencil, kind of. All right, now on this side, look at here. I've got a hook and an eye that I stitched on, a hook, not an eye, a hook and a, what's the word? Jump ring. There it goes. Now, I got a hook and a jump ring, and this is miniature key because it's just too darn cute. Had to use it. All right, in the front pocket, I've got a little vintage digital thing. I put safety pins in 3 sizes and beaded them. I got a little tag with some different wording in there. One of my button cards that I make. I've got a bunch of these for sale, a little bit larger ones in my Etsy shop. And I've got this cute little envelope here, which I put a paper clip on there, and then I filled it with just some lace. And of course, we've got to have beads and dangles on everything. I love my beads and dangles. So there's some lace for sewing. Just kind of got it held together. Just some journaling paper. This one's got some measuring tape, washi tape up there. This has got some vintage washi tape. And you can see I used more of the pattern piece back there. That goes in the back like that. And I stuffed it full because that's the way I wanted it. All right, now in the back pocket, we've got some larger items. I put some really big tags. This Singer sewing pattern was 20 cents. You know how much patterns are nowadays? Whoa, too much. You must buy them when they're on sale because they can be like 20 bucks. They're really high. Here's a little tag. I left a pocket at the bottom, and I just stuck the little McCall's tag from a vintage McCall's pattern. There's another, and that cute. Look how cute that is. Size 1. Love her. Love her, love her, love her. Look at her. Isn't she precious? And This said, "You are so special, SO." I just put SEW in some stick-on letters on top of that, SO. And then there's another tag. Look how cute that is. Oh, I just love all these guys. They're so precious. All right, so that goes in the back pocket. But before I put it in there, I'll show you this. I made a little miniature corner pocket right here, and I put a little wooden veneer scissors on it. And inside it is a little miniature button card. Y'all see I got ink all over my hands. Excuse that. I've been inking stuff. Look at my fingers. Oh gosh, I didn't realize it was that bad. Anyway, I got miniature buttons on a miniature button card, and I stitched them on. I thought it was so precious. Okay, now all these guys go back in that pocket. Now, in the middle here, I hung, which is removable, I've got this lace sampler hanging from this cute little hanger. It's so precious. And I've got buttons and hooks and eyes and pins and stuff. Look there. That's the number of the pattern. It's a 20-cent Simplicity 1949 pattern. And then up here, I have 2 pieces of corrugated cardboard cut out in a circle. I run them across a gold. No, I didn't. I took my finger and I took gold gilding paste and rubbed it across the high edges, added some wire through the middle, created a loop so that I would have a place to hang my little hanger. So the hanger goes there. I'll show you on the back what that looks like. This is the wire coming out. I just made a loop, stuck 2 ends through the center of those circles, came out here and just rolled them into coils or curls so that it wouldn't stick you. And then here's more of that vintage tape measure that I got from my friend Karen. So anyway, guys, that was a major doing, but it was so much fun. I enjoyed every second. Look how thick it is. Isn't that cool? And as you can see, I still got some room. I can stuff some more stuff down there if I want to. Is it for sale? I haven't decided yet. I might put it in my Etsy shop, but I just haven't decided. You let me know what I should do. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.